About a month ago, we began a little improvement project down here near the campsite between it and our garden. It began with removing several trees and then processing those trees and cleaning them up. We had to take all the limbs and roots into a slash burn pile and process the rest of the tree into good usable firewood length. The goal was to create a new access right through these trees to that pathway in the center, which is where our garden is. The old pathway came down right past these daffodils and across the flat here next to the pavilion. This path was originally built for us to use as a walking path between the pavilion and our little cabin when we would come and stay for the weekend. Now that we live here full time and have established our garden area out on this clear ridge, that pathway has become our main access point for the garden. That includes maintenance and preparations in the spring and summertime maintenance and access for harvesting. The biggest problem that poses for us now is the fact that the tractor just barely fits through that pathway. When we built it, it was intended as a walking path, so we didn't want it very wide. But now that we have to use it as a maintenance access for the garden, it's gotta get wider. However, there's only so much room that can be gained between the building and the retaining wall. So our best option was to improve a better access point by coming right through these trees and connecting directly in line with that pathway. With that connection made, we would no longer have to rely on this pathway as a primary access, meaning we could take advantage of this space to give our little campsite quite an upgrade. There was always room for at least one family-sized tent on this pathway, and possibly one smaller one in addition, if you place them carefully. However, we often have campers come who need to set up 2, 3, sometimes even 4 tents, and there just isn't that much space right up here. They end up finding open spaces to place the tents, however, they're not very flat. So since we were going to be moving trees out and reshaping things a little bit, we wanted to take advantage of that moment and really make some improvements to this section of the camp area. Our plan was to widen out this pathway, install some boulder retaining on the uphill and the downhill side so that we could widen this space out quite a bit and flatten it to accommodate 3 to 4 tents without any problem. So with the trees out of the way and the initial flattening done, I brought over 20 or 30 smaller boulders with the tractor that I could use for the uphill side retaining. Then I used the excavator to deliver several large boulders for the lower side so that I could build that elevation up and out. All of these boulders come from our property in an area that we're trying to open up. So this is the work we were doing when we started knocking down some trees and doing all that tree work. We were opening up this space as part of our campsite. Now we've got one more row of boulders to lay in here, and then this material will come out so it's all flat and bulbed out. And this trail path used to come right through here. As you tried to go past with the tractor, you'd tend to scrub the bark a little bit. It was just tight enough. And we generally have people try to put their tents out here, but it's a little tight because it was only about 6 to 8 feet wide. So our intentions are to finish this out this week. We'll get this all built out wider out here so that we've got more flat space to use for tent setup. We're gonna wrap that up in the next couple of days so that we can kick off our camp season officially.
I get to landscape it, so that's really exciting for me.
But first, I have to finish the boulder work.
So Mark came down here and he actually really enjoyed the pink and stuff. I did tell him that the nursery was having a Father's Day sale, and he goes, "Oh, so this is my Father's Day gift?" And I'm like, "Yes, you bet. That's how exactly what it is." So because it's his gift, he also gets to help me plant it. We're gonna start planting. It's gonna be really fun. There's 50 plants and they're gonna go fairly easy. I'm just looking forward to seeing all of this blossom. Here we go.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love, remember when we were getting nowhere fast, when the garden won't stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass, I could really use some stuff like that. Talk to me and tell me all that you've seen, all the colors. Summer love, memories washed in every shade of green in all the colors. Summer love, remember the lazy river day canoe, bathing in the turquoise blue, losing track of time with you. Another peach pie sunset view, sleeping in the afternoon, no place to be and nothing to prove. That's sure something I could use. A little bit of summer love.
This morning it's time to finish up the campsite. So I got all this mulch. I got to put all around here any of the muddy spots, and then we'll have all this covered in mulch so it's not muddy or hard ground or anything like that for the campers, so they could stay nice and dry. And then I'll probably mulch my the little area right here too, where we landscaped on the rocks, and then that's it, and it should be ready for our camper. got as much as I really want to put on here. I don't want to have it so thick that I can't use the mulch anywhere else. So I'd like to get it on, and it looks really good. And when I'm gonna move the cars around, I think I'm gonna put a little bit on the trail here too. So I think it's good enough for now. I don't really have much more I'd like to put on, but we'll see. I do want to put a little bit more by the fire pit and the pavilion just to keep it nice and tidy in appearance, and that's it. I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I love the way it looks.
$40 by 18, 40 by 20. That's big.
It's really big.
You get a lot of tents there. Easily situate 4 tents on this space, real easy.
Okay.
4 family-sized tents real easily. So it's nice, man. It just opens out. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
I think it turned out good. It was a good improvement. The addition to the wood chips I really like because it keeps the dust down.
Yeah.
And if it rains, it'll keep the mud down.
Yep.
And then that's the same for goes when they get on the pavilion. It just keeps it clean for the campers. I love the pop of color because that's something I think sometimes this campsite like lacks. I like my turquoise table, but I think like just having that little bit of color, a little bit of landscaping just makes it that much more classier here.
I like the perennial plants that you got in there. Some phlox and the lilac and a couple others in there that have different color foliage and stuff that's going to come back. And the idea is that we're going to still spread some of that and thicken that in.
Yep, I think we're on a good path here.
We really do love doing these beautification projects, and we're always trying to find a balance between the manicured beauty and the already abundant natural beauty of our property. We couldn't be more pleased with the end results of this project, and look forward to seeing the way that it develops over time as we add more perennials in the future.